All right, so the Transit Advisory Committee meeting of our date today, March 27th, 2025 is called to order at this time. First on the agenda is going to be introductions. So let's go around the table. Adrian, we actually haven't seen you for a while. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Adrian. My name is Adrian Navallo. I've been on this board committee for a little while. I don't know how long.
I'm Stephanie Boyce. I'm interim, I guess word would be chair of the committee at this point in time.
Nancy Muller.
Deanna Ball-Carb, member.
Todd Wood, Transit Director.
Heidi Muller, Transit Operations Manager.
And Gregory, why don't you introduce yourself? We've got you on Zoom.
Yes, Greg Perez.
All right. And then just to note, Ted Hensley has excused absence. He notified us he was unable to make it. I have not heard from Tyler Frankie, so he is unexcused absence.
All right. All right, so yes, we'll call the meeting to order and let's go over approval of the minutes from the 23rd, January 23rd.
We're gonna sneak ahead of you real
You're gonna sneak ahead?
Yeah, chair and vice chair.
Oh, yes, what does that entail again?
So every year in March, we elect a new chair and vice chair.
Oh, yes, that would be me too. Okay, that would actually deal with me. Okay. All right, so how would we go about doing that since this is my first, I'm fairly new?
Go for it.
Okay. So basically, anybody who's either interested or would like somebody to nominate them can, say, I'd like to be nominated for chair, or I'd like to nominate this person for chair or vice chair. And then you guys just come to a consensus on who you guys would like to have as your chair or vice chair.
Okay. Does anybody like to voluntarily do that?
I'd like to nominate Miss Boyce for chair.
So excited. Okay. Anybody else would like to nominate or step in that role?
Yeah, push real hard.
Real hard, there you go.
I would be fine with being vice chair.
I am okay with that as well. All right, so I do not mind taking the role because I've been kind of doing it anyways for the last few meetings. So that does not bother me at all. So I would ask for all in favor then of vice chair first, probably, right?
Either way.
Either way, vice chair. And those who would like to confirm that, a show of hands, yes?
Aye.
For Deanna, yes. Sorry, for Deanna, yes, aye.
And Greg is an aye.
All right, perfect. And for chair, Stephanie Boyce?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so as of today of the 27th, we now have our new chair and vice chair. Moving forward. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
For the nomination. All right, then we will move on to the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes from January 23rd. How would we do that? We just do it?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the minutes from January 23rd, 2025 as written.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Do I gavel that or are we good to go?
You have a
Approval.
motion and a second, so all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
And you can ask if anybody's opposed.
Everybody's what?
Anybody opposed?
Oh, is anybody opposed to that? Anybody opposed? Okay.
Greg, do you approve of minutes?
Yes, I do.
Perfect, thank you. Next on the agenda is open the public comment and input. I do not see anybody in-house. Is there anybody that has wrote in or emailed or commented?
Nope, not at this time.
All right, perfect. We'll move on to the old business, bus shelter project update.
Yep, so I just wanted to keep people updated on how the bus shelter project's been going. Obviously, we've had our 99 completion with the 99 project, but we have 4 more shelters to be installed. So we finally got the approval from ODOT on the plans. So Public Works is just getting all the materials right now, and we should be hopefully breaking ground very soon. And Public Works is gonna be doing all the building and everything for the new 4 bus shelters. There's gonna be one installed at Sequoia next to the Carl's Jr., where our stop currently is. On the other side at Redwood and 99, and then 2 of them on north and southbound for Territorial. So hopefully I'll have some pretty pictures.
These are all on the loop route, right?
99X,
99X, and then, okay.
We have 0 shelters on the loop.
yes.
I keep picturing.
No, technically we have one.
Okay, that's a 99 shelter on the loop.
Yes.
Maybe some.
So just wanted to let you guys know, so stay tuned to our Facebook and I'll post updates
This has
as we
been-
start, because we will have to either temporary close or I'll have to do some temporary bus stops in those areas while we do the construction. We only expect it to take a couple days per stop, but we're gonna try to do it as quickly as possible.
Yay, thank you, Public Works.
Yeah, Public Works did them last time, or the ones already.
No, they, ODOT and Public Works helped.
Public Works installed the shelters, ODOT did the flat work.
Correct.
In this case, Public Works is doing the flat work and the shelter work. There's quite a lot of flat work that has to be done on Territorial, because there's no concrete there at all, so. And ADA requires there to be certain accesses, so.
That's going to be interesting how that plays out.
It looks like Greg might have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, on the bus shelter update, how many are there to be done? How many have we had completed so far?
So there
So-
are, oh, sorry. You wanna go ahead? Go
Hey,
ahead.
you're taking my thunder, Todd. So we've had 5 full shelters installed. One of them, we have another one, a 6, but it's just a bench and a light at South Locust because it was too small of an area to put a full shelter in. And then we will have 4 full shelters installed.
Which would come to a total of,
9 full shelters and then a bench and light.
we have money for that, that's already taken care of.
It's all taken care of.
Okay,
This has been going on for 5 years now, because it was tied to the original 99 project, so the money has been bounced from year to year to year to year. So,
that's why I asked, because it's been going on for 5 years.
we make sure it's in the budget every year, because every year we've had the hope that it would get done, so this year we finally get to get it done, so we didn't carry the money over to next year, which is nice.
I was taking notes, I apologize. All right. We will now move on to agenda number 4, which is the old business bus shelter project update. Oh wait, that's just what we just did, I apologize. Just looking away, making notes, and then came back. New business. Operations report, Heidi. You?
So just getting this all set up for y'all, just so you guys can see the numbers. I will let you know in our next fiscal year, I'm actually gonna update this and make it a little bit cleaner so you can see the actual year overall totals and not just the 4 months. I was looking at it today going, I should really fix this, as I was setting up for my month end this next month. So as you guys can see, we have had a little bit of a dip in the last 4 months for our 99X weekday service. Although the numbers were a little low, just a reminder, February we had the closures because of the snow and ice, and it's also a short month, so that's why those numbers look pretty low. So we lost about a day and a half of service during that. Our Canby Loop is still doing phenomenal. The numbers they're staying pretty steady, although I had to call Todd today because I was punching some numbers for Monday or Tuesday, and we hit a new high of 145 people in one day. So that's exciting. Our dial ride is majorly staying as ADA priority. Our general public has drastically decreased, not increased, wrong word. And then as for our complaints, we are running a little higher this year, but again, that's because we are making sure that everything is documented and reported properly by the contractor. Our weekend service is actually doing better on the weekends for 99X, and the loop is slowly still increasing. I'm hoping to do a little bit more promotion about people using it later in the evening. And then dial-a-ride, we have seen an increase in our dial-a-ride. People want to use it for the store on Saturdays a lot more. They've been having to pull in like an extra driver to help assist, just to keep it going and keep everyone happy. So, and then overall, if I can, click the right thing. So overall, we're doing pretty good. We're steadily seeing some increases this year. Any questions? Okay.
Thanks, Heidi.
You're welcome. The transit committee member update. Go ahead with that, Todd.
So we currently have a full slate, however, Tyler hasn't been here. In how many meetings? It's been a year almost.
So last meeting he attended was a special request meeting in August because of July not having enough for a quorum.
So we have not been able to get a hold of him either. At this point, he's exceeded what is considered the normal attendance of unexcused absence. It's up to this committee whether or not you wish to continue to hold that position for Tyler or remove him from that position to open that position up for another member who would like to be there. But that's up to you. You can do either.
So we would do a vote.
Yeah, you would vote to have him removed from the committee due to attendance, or you can just continue to hold it open. We've tried to get a hold of him, we've not gotten any responses, so we're not sure.
Do we have to do it this meeting, or can we hold off to see if we can?
You can hold off. I
Okay,
just need to bring it to your attention. It's totally up to this committee what you want to do. If you want to put it off, you're more than welcome to put it off. If you don't want to do it at all, you can just leave it until his term expires, and if he doesn't attend or renew, it'll just reopen the position then.
Todd, can you remind us what the requirement is for attendance for the committees?
So 3 unexcused absences, consecutive unexcused absences remove you from the committee, or can remove you from the committee. The council can remove you from the committee themselves, but generally it's this committee that would make the recommendation to remove that person.
When is his expiration?
I was actually just going, I should have had that noted. I believe it is next year,
Yeah.
March 31st of 2026. But I can triple check that just to be sure.
And when you guys have contacted him, have you tried email and?
I have tried email and phone call.
Okay, I just wondered if, I feel like if he got reached out to and hasn't responded, then it's probably better to get somebody else on that would want to participate. Because we need people to come to the meetings. I understand people get busy and things can't happen, but if he hasn't been here since August, that's quite a while.
And just to confirm, it is March 31st, 2026.
Okay.
And I would agree with Dan on that.
I would really like to wait one more meeting. That would be my vote. What,
This is completely up to you.
This is the first time you're introducing it.
Yeah.
And so I would like to hold off for one meeting. Gregory, go ahead.
Yes, my suggestion, this is just my suggestion, We email him and contact him one more time, and then we move on and fill a position.
I would feel comfortable with that.
That works.
I totally would feel comfortable with that. If we could do one more.
Cool.
Do we vote or do we?
No, if you're just directing us to reach out to him again, we will do that.
If we could do one more reach out, that would
And
be.
then it'll be, yeah, like I said, it's completely up to you. Heidi and I do not have any say in the addition or removal of any members. That is at the council, as well as the chair usually are in charge of the additions. And the subtractions is, you vote to send it to the city council, and the city council ultimately removes that individual based on your recommendation, so.
I am very comfortable with that.
Yes.
All right, let's do
Okay.
that. Thank
Okay.
you. All right, we will now go on to the ADA plan update. Heidi?
Yeah, so my apologies for the book I gave you guys. So we got multiple plan updates that we have to do every 3 years, just to ensure that we're maintaining compliance. It's also part of audits that we get in regards to grants, funding, all that jazz. So there's been several changes, especially with the ADA guidelines, the federal transportation guidelines, for service. So we had to do a pretty good update on that. And we've also changed kind of the way the layout is for our ADA plan. So basically what we've provided for you is our full ADA plan on how our dial-a-ride service works for both general public and the paratransit for people with disabilities. It stipulates our rules, our procedures, what's expected of the service, and how to use it. We also included updates on our application, and it's just basically a guideline that shows how we run that type of service. So we were just asking for you guys to review. I'm not exactly the best writer, so if there's an error or you guys see something that I might have missed, I already know of a couple things that I noticed and went, oh no, why did I do that? Please feel free to either just let me know, shoot me an email, or give me a phone call, whatever works best. Or even if you just have a question. What we're gonna ask is possibly do a special meeting in April, I believe. Because the council has to approve these for them to go and become active for us. So we might request if you guys are willing to do a meeting in April to kind of go over the final plan and that you guys recommend council approves them so we can get them updated and be in compliance. So if anybody had a chance, do you got any questions about it? Need me to explain a little bit more? Or I'll try not to read the whole thing. I mean, I can if you want to be here all night.
I was wondering about the Spanish option on getting rides and things. How's that working?
So we have translation services, and I believe our newest dispatcher is, from what it sounds like, she might be bilingual. So we also have a couple drivers who are bilingual, which is helpful. But when it comes to Spanish, we can do translations through a translation service on the phone.
Right. Is it working?
Greg, did you have a question?
Yes, on the ADA updates, could you just shoot us an email of any changes that you are going to make? Because I made a booklet out of this binder, put all of this information together. So if there's any changes, if you could email it to me or all of us, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that. That way you know that I found like an error or something. I can do that, absolutely.
I was actually gonna ask off the top of your head, since I was new at reading all of the guidelines for the ADA, what were the actual changes? I mean, off the top of your head, like possibly what was basically new?
So our dial-a-ride service used to run as what we call curb to curb. the state has come down and said that all paratransit service must be door to door, which means the driver must be able and willing to escort the client from the doorway of the vehicle to the first doorway of the building or wherever they're going, into that first doorway. If people want it, it's an optional thing. They can offer it, people can decline. It's not something we normally used to do. Usually they would just assist them off the, if they use the ramp or lift and have a great day, and then they go about their way. Same thing with their house. They would escort them from the doorway of the vehicle to the front door of their home. We are not allowed to enter residence or any type of building or facilities. We can't go in and look for people. That's something that's been brought up. We do offer reasonable accommodations for certain things, like, for example, I have a sight impaired client. She comes to the library a lot. She asked if we could at least help get her through that second entry vestibule door to ensure, because she would prefer to have somebody assist her in that breezeway. So that's a reasonable accommodation that we can do. That's one of them. One of the other big changes that a lot of us were kind of shocked by is suspensions. Before it was basically standard practice, you would just do it for however long you wanted to or needed to. We can't suspend more than 30 days. So you can't do any like lifetime bans, you only can go up 30 days for a suspension. And you have to give at least several warnings prior to that.
Actually was reading the list in here.
Yeah, and it has to be gradual, so it'd be like 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 30 days, and you would gradually increase those suspensions.
And they also get appeals and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
But that's not new, that was already.
No, that's always been around, and we can get more into that with like Title VI and stuff. But I also can't hold people accountable for cancellation or no-shows if they say it's part of their medical condition or disability, whereas before that wasn't really written. So if they had excessive cancellations or failing to show, if they say it's because of my disability or a medical condition, I cannot use those as grounds for any type of suspension because it would be discrimination against their disability. So that was another very big thing that got brought up because a lot of people filed appeals on suspensions because of their medical conditions.
We're also adjusting the allowable call-in time. We used to allow people to call in on Sundays and leave a message for a ride on Mondays. And it's been very difficult for our contractor to manage that because they try at 4 a.m. to cram somebody in from Sundays. And so we're adjusting that to 6 p.m. on Saturday. So, because you can do service day to 5 p.m. on Saturday, service day to service day. And Sundays was becoming very burdensome because sometimes you have multiple people call in and we're already full for Monday, but if they're ADA clients, we can't turn them away, so we gotta find them a slot. So we're changing that policy as well. And then Melody went through and significantly pared down some of the excessive languages to help make it less wordy. It looks big now, it was significantly bigger before. So she's done a great job of looking at other cities to compare plans and take out a lot of the wording we didn't need to have. So it's quite a good thing.
And just a fun fact, Melody actually just did an audit on Wednesday of our system. And currently active, we have 388 paratransit ADA clients, and only 49 of that, only 49 are general public at this time. So that's about how many active clients we have that are currently riding and approved for service. So, just a little fun fact.
No, I appreciate facts like that. Thank you so much for off the top of your head telling us those. Title VI plan update?
Yeah, so the Title VI plan is basically our civil rights. every transportation agency is required to have this plan again for the grants and everything. We have posted, all of our Title VI policies are posted in every vehicle, they're posted at our transit center. There was a few new updates. I basically based our Title VI off of a couple other agencies. I had to look over their plans and then look at the FTA guidelines with the new updates and how they require us to complete certain programs and management. So that's why it's a little bit more lengthy than our Title VI used to be, I think. I think before it was 10 pages or something like that, and now it's,
At the most.
yeah, now it's about 30. So it basically runs down a bunch of ways that we have the programs written out and how we do outreach and how we, participate and make it equal for everybody.
It also covers all our complaint policies for civil rights complaints and the process there, and I believe it has the actual complaint
Yes, there's a
form
copy
in
of the
it.
form.
So that's required to be in it. And it includes some minor updated language because they update the language every so many years.
Yes.
So we're required to add that in when our plan gets re-upped.
Do we have any other questions concerning that? Gregory, do you have any questions concerning that?
Yeah, actually I do. This is for Todd. In the last 5 years that you can remember, have we ever been sued for anything dealing with the transit system?
No, we've never been sued.
Nope,
Super.
we've been good. And if we were, or if we had something, it would be listed in our Title VI.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact section. I know it's a little bit towards the end and before you get into the appendices. But we would have to disclose if we've had any litigation or if we were found in violation. We have to list it in the Title VI in the future.
All right, next on the list is asset management plan update.
Yeah, so this one is just basically a rundown of our logistics for our fleet and all of our assets that we obtain. It covers how we do our preventative maintenances through our mechanics in the shop, our annual inspections. It goes through our fleet and what type of vehicles we have. I've included in there just because I will have to probably do an amended update to this one once we get our newer vehicles. I currently have 4 transit vans on order right now that I'm waiting. Actually, tomorrow is the closure for the RFQs on those. And then one 28-foot bus. So some of our older vehicles might be disappearing off that list and the new ones will be coming on, so. But it's pretty straightforward. I've included, most of it is the paperwork that the mechanics have to fill out. It's actually digitally done on our fleet maintenance system, so the only thing that's not manual, electronically done is the annual inspection. They do that. And he has it logged.
I believe it includes the transit center as well, right?
Yes, oh yeah, sorry. Our transit center was federally funded. So we have to, by FTA guidelines, we have to complete janitorial cleaning logs, which the custodians do. And then the parks maintains a cleaning log of the public restroom and maintaining of the facility out there. So those are also in that and explain that.
And I think it's good to see the forms that the drivers themselves every day fill out
Yeah, the daily vehicle inspection, yes.
and what they check. It's good information, I think, for the committee to know.
Any questions concerning that?
I have a quick question on these safety checks. Do they keep those on file for a certain amount of time?
Yes, all DVIRs are, if there's any type of mechanical write-ups, they go to either me or a mechanic. The mechanics will then investigate, and document the repair, the work order number, and sign off of it as being cleared. And then all of those are scanned, and we pretty much keep them digitally.
We keep the DVIRs, that's the one the driver fills out for a year. We discard
Okay.
them for a year. When there's actual issues found, those are entered into the fleet maintenance system. So, and those are required to be kept for 7 years beyond the sale of the vehicle. So any defects actually found are logged into a different system, and those are kept for an additional 7 years, so.
Perfect. Anybody else? Good to go. All right, the last one on the list is transit graphics. What do you got for us, Heidi? Transit graphics.
Well, as you all know, we've done a little bit of rebranding. And so we're hoping to get our signs updated, and I got with a new company. I call it local. They're out in Beaverton, called Taylor Graphics. Because Gillespie, our usual provider, he retired, sold his company, and now they're based out in the Midwest.
North Carolina.
That's how it is.
Is that it, North Carolina? So that's where they're at now, so it's less than ideal. I'm trying to have them do this type of stuff, so we're looking at a new company. This is some mock-ups that they gave us, so we kind of just want your guys' feedback on what you think would be a good style to go towards. So I'll start with our signs,
Before we
but Todd's gonna talk.
talk for a second. So as Heidi said, we got a grant, I think we talked about this a while back, we got a grant for buses. So we have, the grant was to buy 4 transit vans and 1 cutaway that Heidi's currently going through the procurement process to get bids on so we can take them to council and get approval to buy those. So when we go through these graphics and you select or decide that these are what we like, this is what we expect to apply to these 5 new vehicles. And then the signs, we have a number of signs that are in need of replacement, repair, and so these will be, as we replace our signs, these will be the new signs to replace those. So keep in mind, we're looking for putting these things into practice right away as we update and repair and replace things. We don't really plan on changing the existing vehicles. It's too costly. We will simply do this as the new vehicles get purchased and old vehicles go away.
A quick question, just curious, Canby signs and graphics here in Canby. I use them for work on projects, just curious if we've thought about getting a quote from them or if they don't do this style.
For the signs, I could probably ask them for quotes. The larger vehicles I have found, they don't have the building length to handle.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the downsides, because if they have to do it, it would have to be outdoors in the elements. And normally when you do wraps like that, it's not the best. It's best to be in a location where you're enclosed and have a clean space,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I just wondered, because I thought going to Beaverton, can you save staying here in town?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, we use them, actually, the city and us, those graphic signs that you see on a few of our buses that we were trying to promote the city events. We actually get those from Candy Sign and Graphics,
Oh,
and
okay.
all the rear window ones. And I believe we're gonna continue to do that.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are these the 2 options?
No, so
Karen's
this
like,
is
"Don't look in the same, Heidi. Don't look in the same."
I was trying to trick it.
Like,
No, this is concept 1. So this is the first option for our larger
And
signs.
it's both sides. So the signs are 2-sided, so they look the same because they are the same model
Yes.
signs.
Got it.
And then they'll have, and I'll get to them later, but below that top line there, you'll see it'll say like 99X Oregon City or Woodburn or Candy Loop, something along those lines.
And I just spotted the one side too, so.
Well, it's really light, so you're okay. So, and then here's concept 2 that they sent us with a darker background but with white. So I'll keep it on there for a minute so you guys can see it.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Gregory if he can see it.
So there's only two concepts for these large aluminum signs, so these are basically it for those.
And just for more clarity, so we have on every sign pole two signs.
Yeah.
We have the large sign that shows the routes, and then we have the small sign that usually contains a graphic of a bus for people who are reading impaired or can't read, along with some
Stop ID.
the idea to stop. So
If we're voting right now, I would do option 2. Right when you switched it, it stood out. I was like, bam, there it is. The first
I
one
like
didn't
option
stand out.
2 too.
Real quick, you mentioned there's a picture of a bus for people reading impaired. Is the bus, like, is the picture
I can
much
actually show it to
larger?
you
I
right
don't
now.
understand.
we'll show it.
Oh, like that?
So the idea is if they couldn't read the bus, they could see the picture
Yes.
of the bus.
Picture of the bus.
Yeah.
It is not a requirement, but it is a request for accommodation. Who makes that? ODOT?
No, it's part of ADA.
ADA.
Okay, ADA.
It's ADA and it's actually, it's highly recommended in the design profiles for bus stops. That's why you see like down in Portland, if you ride the streetcar, there's that little outline of the streetcar with the little, antenna looking thing, so you know that's the streetcar.
Yeah.
Or the train station, you got the train with the railroad tracks.
All traffic
It
bus
helps
stops have
people.
the half moon bus stop
Right.
sign and then the little bus symbol.
Yeah, I'm just curious, if we got rid of the bus, we could make the actual word bus larger.
But people who can't read wouldn't be able to read the word bus. And that's not me saying that, that's just what the ADA is saying that. Again, we do have options without the bus on there, so it's not a requirement, it's just a recommendation. Vote.
So I got a couple that enjoy concept too.
Were you a concept 2?
I liked the first one, but.
I just thought the second one stood out more, just with the extra color in it.
Sorry, I just don't like it.
No.
Greg, do you have an opinion?
What color is this sign? It's black and white here. Is it a different color?
So this one is actually, this concept two is actually the more darker forest type green. That's a part of our concept design for the logo. But then it would be a white, kind of the same reflective white background. I should have brought one of my signs, I have it in the car. One of the white reflection as the base. And then same thing for this one, it's the white, but then the logo and everything is in the green colors, the dark green and then the light.
Okay.
Is there a problem with visually impaired people to see? Do they see black lettering and numbers better than the white?
The colors they tell you to stay away from are blue,
Red, yellow.
but green is okay.
Green is okay.
Is my understanding, I'm not an expert in this at all, but that was my understanding is when it came to lettering. White lettering's fine, dark lettering's fine, but certain shades of blue, people can't see them at all. And there's some reds that they can't see, so they recommend avoiding those.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions concerning that?
Did you have a thought, Nancy, not to put you on the floor, but.
I think concept 2,
I'm sorry, Greg, was 2 or 1?
I don't know if you said, did you say Greg?
Did you like 2 or 1, Greg?
I like to.
2. Alright, so, like Todd was saying, these are the smaller signs, so they sent us 3. So this one is without the bus logo. Just our decal with a nice little bordering there, and then the stop ID, that's what people can call in and say, I'm at stop 1030, and then the dispatcher can be able to relay exactly if they don't know streets. So that's what those are for. So we have this one, and then we have concept 2, and then concept 3 with the bus logo.
I'll vote majority.
I'm sorry, Greg, what was that?
I said I'll vote with the majority.
Okay.
Wow.
So I
The
can
first larger signs already have what stops on it, right?
No,
No, the larger signs will just have the the small route ID like 99X or CL for Canby Loop. And then it'll have the writing on it saying what destination it's for or what route it is. And I'll get to those next, so you guys can see those, because they give 2 options for those. So again, there's 1, 2, and 3. Any thoughts?
No small sign, that's my thought.
I think option 2 matches with the one we picked for the other side.
It does match, yep.
Okay.
I agree with her.
So these are the route stickers, like I was explaining, so this is what would go on the larger signs to clarify what route and where it's going. So we have, this one's pretty easy to figure it, they just basically centered. So they're either centered or offset.
Centered.
So I got 1 vote for centered.
Centered.
I prefer centered.
I take it, Greg, you wanna be majority?
Yeah, I'll be with the majority.
Okay. All right, here comes the fun stuff. Vehicles. So this would be one option for the transit van. It utilizes the new logo and then I can't remember what that decal with the arrows was called.
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, it's just a real decal.
Exactly.
No more cat paw.
No more cat paw. I mean, the old buses will still have them, but yeah. So this is concept 1 for transit van style, that they gave us. And then here's the second one. Just to note, they did not build in the passenger door in this. We will have a passenger door. Let me see if I can get my mouse to right where the 4022 and this is. So they are gonna have to make adjustments because there's gonna be a passenger door right here.
Okay.
Just so you know. So I don't know if that means moving stuff back. But that's basically the concept for those.
Is there another option or those 2?
Just, these are the 2 that they sent.
If you have a suggestion, happy to hear it.
We can always send it to them and say, can you make this adjustment, or can you?
I'm just curious, they look very identical to those AMR Metro West buses. The design looks less trendy, more
Emergency response.
emergency response.
My comment totally did not even, in my mind, I was like, these look exactly like an emergency response vehicle, so I was gonna make a comment about that.
So these were designed by, the graphics guy, can't remember his name now, that did the logo initially, so. We're not married to anything, so if you have suggestions on how to make them better, we can bring new concepts back, we'd be happy to do that as well.
Did any of you think that? I immediately when I saw it, I was like, are we an emergency response vehicle?
I totally agree, and personally, I don't like the arrows.
What kind of dismissed the whole cat situation?
I do want to go back to the other one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the green half moon on the bottom, could we do something like this plain white option with that green half moon, because then it gets across it, hey, this is a cat bus, without being very, it's just a lot.
We could ask them to move this, obviously, because it'd be cut off by the door. We could ask them to translate back
We could just
and have the other one the way it is.
Okay.
Or would you prefer them both towards the rear?
I don't really care where, just if it's just the green, that's what I would prefer. I think the extra arrows and all the little decals is a lot, makes it look
Okay.
very AMR-y.
I agree with that.
I'm gonna have to look up these AMR videos.
I mean, they are, this is a great picture of an of an emergency response vehicle, so
And
most of them for that.
There is
Not bad.
possibility that we will put like the window graphics for the like 4th of July event parade, and that we might incorporate those on these new vehicles as well. So if you cut out the arrows, there's a possibility that we might just put something on the window there for, Canby Big Night Out, or, Light Up the Night, something to promote Canby.
Good idea.
Not on a permanent basis, just on a decal we can stick and unstick.
Yeah,
Right.
a window one.
An open canvas, we can keep changing if we need to for an event.
I think Greg had a question. or a
Oh,
comment.
great, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm behind you. What's that design on the van? Christmas decoration.
So that design is it's actually a CAT that you'll see. So the center is the A, then you have the C, and then there's the T. If you look at the logo by itself, where it says, where you have the CAT versus Cambria Transit, to the left of it is the CAT. They took the T out, and then they looped the CA into this pattern. That is what that pattern is the CA looped together repeatedly.
And the concept was behind it was moving forward and back
Yeah.
for transit.
He had a very clever explanation of what it meant, and I can't remember what it meant now. So
It's not very attractive.
okay.
And if you're looking for something in it, people aren't going to find it. And I think it's should do something else.
Okay. So we'll come back with for this vehicle different concept that just incorporates the dark. You prefer the dark? Okay, we'll do that.
And just to confirm, it was a white vehicle but with the dark.
Yeah, just plain.
Okay, gotcha.
What do the others think?
No, we all agree,
they
we're all
love
saying the
it.
same concept.
No.
They love it so much, Greg, you've been outvoted. No, I'm kidding.
It's pretty much unanimous.
I'm missing the cat someplace. Cougar.
So again, this is kind of the concept. I literally gave them our design profile, so that's what they had based off of, so I'll definitely be bringing back your guys' remarks. So I'm gonna assume the arrows on this one are probably a no-go as well.
Right,
yeah.
But this is the concept that they kind of came up with for our 28-foot cutaway. They did have to base it off of Arbok, but we're not getting an Arbok on this next one, so it'll be a little bit different in that style. But that's kind of what they were going for, and that's what the concept 2 looks like.
I like where the bus numbers are. Identifying the unit number.
All right, so we will we'll give the graphic folks some basic instructions and see if they can't come up with several different concepts for you to look at. And bring those back to the next meeting so you can see what you think. We'll figure this out. We got plenty of time, so.
Yeah, and then, I know you guys already made your choice, but here's just a layout of the different concepts. So basically, from what I got from all of you, you want concept 2 literally straight across.
I have one question on concept 2, do you, with the small thing, you notice there's no bus in it. Did you want to see a version with the bus, so a white bus, similar to the other one that has the bus that's dark, but instead of the Canby logo? Or does that make any sense? Or am I being more confusing than I am helpful?
You can provide that, cause that might be helpful to see, cause I do worry about people that don't read, that need to use the symbol. But normally people at bus stations all know it's gonna be a bus, but.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll ask them to create that concept as well, just so you can see what it looks like. Then we'll, move forward with, looks like concept 2. Is everybody okay with that? Anybody think it's a horrible idea and disastrous?
That's
Well, I'm gonna lay awake
Exact,
at
exact,
night.
exact opposite of what I chose, so it's good.
Yes.
This is why we bring it forward, because if it was Todd would have chosen concept 1 across the board.
Ah.
So, Adrian, she said, I like that one too. But this is good. Excellent, so we'll bring back in next meeting updated concepts and make sure that everybody is still on board. Is there anything on the signs you'd like to see differently or changed or added or subtracted at all? Or any additional concepts?
No.
No? No? Okay.
All right, that brings us to the new business. Next on the agenda is discussion items. The thing that you guys asked to discuss is whether we want to be meeting up in April.
Oh, Greg has a discussion.
Oh, great, yeah.
Go ahead and finish.
Well, that was it, is that they wanted to discuss whether we meet up in April to go over the plan, whether it goes forward to city council.
Yeah, we need you to move these plans forward to city council. So if you want some more time to review them and send your suggestions to Heidi, so Heidi can make those updates. I mean, some of them obviously are legal. We'll just tell you if we can't do this or we can't do this, or we'll just make the update. And then have the committee vote to move them forward to council so that we can get them in front of council to get them adopted. Because they have to be adopted by council to be effective, in effect, per se.
That
would be
includes
our-
the changes to the designs that we were looking at?
No,
that's totally
we
separate.
can do that in April as well, but that's completely separate.
Okay,
The April was more, I would like to not drag this out too long because it takes me a long time to get on the council. So the sooner I can get through, get it moved from this committee to council, the faster I can get it on the council agenda to get it adopted.
is anyone wanting to vote tonight? Or would we like to wait and have more time in April? Because we have a quorum here tonight, correct?
Correct.
So we are able to vote tonight.
Yeah, if you wanted to just say they're great moving forward as is, you're welcome to do that if you want more time.
I will make a note, I did get some notes from Nancy. She
Okay.
gave me a little laundry list of boo-boos I made.
Right.
So I have those, so I will be reviewing and making adjustments. If you had anything, or you or anybody, let me know and we can make adjustments, but if you go, if you wanna approve it based on my changes that I'm doing with your guys' request, you can do that tonight, I think.
And I think Nancy's adjustments were just
Just
editorial.
little editorials, it wasn't more of,
wrong.
why are you doing this?
We put the wrong name in
Didn't
somewhere.
change the context of it, it's
Yeah.
just fixing some small boo-boos.
Yeah,
Errors.
Unfortunately, I'm not an novelist, so writing is.
So that is completely up to this committee. We can give you, you can take more time.
is anybody uncomfortable doing it tonight, or are we all comfortable doing it tonight to move on? I am comfortable with what I've read and what I've gone over. I'm not gonna lie, some of it, I don't need to go through the checklist, obviously. So, I
But it's so
didn't
much
do the
fun.
business checklist, I'm sorry, I didn't read that section. I did go over the ADA, information stuff, the changes, but I didn't know which was actually a change and which wasn't, but now I know, so thank you. Would we like to put this to a vote, or I would like to, I need to be assertive, right, as the chair. I would like to put it to a vote to move forward with the changes that Heidi is gonna be making. So that you're able to go to city council and present it. Would anybody like to second that vote?
I second that vote.
All right, do we need more than that, or everybody, I need the ayes. There we go, aye.
Greg, what do you think?
Aye. Aye.
we have a quorum unanimously saying aye, so I would say yes, let's move forward with that.
All right, so we'll move all, after Heidi makes those changes, we will, move all 3 plans to city council for adoption.
And,
Okay.
would you guys like copies after I've made those adjustments? So you guys have, they have to be, not will be, they have to be posted on our website once adopted. So they will be readily accessible on our website, but I'm happy to email, and Adrian's already going, yes, please, so I will just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, this time I won't make you print it out.
Okay.
I'll give you that one.
Okay,
So I will be shooting then for the end of April. Hopefully I can get in the second council meeting in April. I have to get the city's drug and alcohol policy in front of the council anyways. It'd be nice if I could just get them all in front of the council.
Wait, so we haven't gone over the drug and alcohol
That's a
policies?
city, that's an internal city policy.
Okay,
So
I was
it's not
like, wait a
transit.
minute,
Yeah.
we need to go over that.
No, that's for employees to be tested and that kind of stuff,
Right.
which we have to do as CDL holders, we have to be tested, so that has to be adopted as well. So it'll be easier to get all 4 of them at once, rather than spread them out, so.
it'll be a Todd night for city council.
But, so I don't know if I can get it on the end of the April one, it may not be till May, it's completely up to what the city council has on their agenda. So, but I will shoot for that.
All right. Well, I vote to adjourn the meeting this evening.
Do you have any other discussion items?
Wait a minute.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't realize. Gregory, go ahead. Yes.
I still have a question. This is for Todd. With the city and the $3 million deficit they're looking at, does that affect us at all? I know how you run your money to the city.
Yeah, so that's a great question, Greg. So, I can't really speak to the city itself's deficit, because that's really the city administrator to figure out what that looks like. Transit is a completely separate fund. So, we
Okay.
don't actually receive any money from the city at all. We receive all our money from the cities. The city has a business payroll tax that the businesses pay. We receive federal grant funding, and we receive STIF funding. And so that's where all our money comes from. We don't receive money from any of the cities. So if the city has a deficit, it doesn't directly affect transit. That being said, right now, we have heard from the state that only 50% of the grant money for next year has been received from the federal government. So we may be looking at a shortfall of up to $150,000 if those don't come through. And that has a lot to do with an ODOT audit, not actually, because I know a lot of people are nervous about the frozen grants. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with ODOT got audited, and there were some issues, and so they haven't received all their money. I don't know what ODOT's doing to work on that. They're trying to do what they need to do. The other issue we've identified and we haven't got any information on is that, as you may well be aware, the city of Portland has seen a number of layoffs over the last year, and more are continuing. And so that directly affects the STIF payroll tax that TriMet receives from the state. And it looks, and this is just Todd's projection based on the numbers, we haven't heard anything official, but it looks like there's gonna be a shortfall in that money. And I don't know what that looks like for us. That does fund our loop and our Saturday service. So I don't know what that looks like. So incoming monies look like there may be some shortfalls next year. That being said, transit itself has enough money currently, was hopefully to be earmarked for our building, which is on hold anyway, but we do have enough money to weather that storm should it come at this point. Depending on how big this storm is, there are some bills in Salem that could end STIF altogether, and that would be a very large storm that would be very hard to overcome. And there's also a bill to raise STIF, and then there's several other bills. So it really depends on what gets through the legislature. But even if STIF stays the same, I'm almost 100% sure, I could be wrong, but based on the numbers Travis projecting, it looks like there'll be a shortfall in STIF. I don't know how that's gonna affect us. And it's up to ODOT to work out whatever they've got going on with the federal government to get the rest of that money sent to them or unfrozen or what. I don't know exactly why the federal government's only sent them half But they were asking us earlier what we could live without next year, based on the having the numbers. So we could, in transit ourselves, Greg, to answer your question, see our own shortfall, though we have enough money to weather that shortfall, but the city shortfall does not directly impact transit.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
the next question is, where are we at on the facility?
So, great question. So,
Did you miss the last, did you miss the last meeting, Gregory? I can't remember.
he did.
You did?
So the facility is on hold for a couple of reasons. The first is that the cost of the facility came in at $10 million, which is almost 3 times higher than it was prior to COVID. The grants we applied for through the state, we didn't get a single one of them because there wasn't enough money and there were too many projects, so we got 0 grants from the state. So we decided we'd try for federal money, and the federal government said, no, we can't apply for any federal money due to the way the property was originally purchased. They have very strict regulations on how you purchase the property. I wasn't here when the property was purchased, and my predecessor at the time didn't want to use federal funds, and I probably would agree with her at the time because the cost was going to be around $3 to $4 million, not $10 million prior to COVID. So we could have taken care of that ourselves. So unfortunately, due to the way the property was purchased, they've denied us all federal funds. So right now, the city attorney is looking into what our options are as far as selling the property and buying it back, or just selling the property, or looking for maybe a different piece of property that the city might already own, or we'd be able to come into possession of that we could move to. But right now, we can't move forward because we don't have enough money and we don't have any way of obtaining enough money. So I'm trying to work with our landlord to see if they'll extend our lease. They said they would think about it and get back to us. They haven't got back to us yet. So our lease expires December 31st of this year. So we're hoping they'll extend our lease, but they do have folks interested in our property, and they've been wanting to, are in the location we're currently renting, and he's expressed repeatedly that he'd like to rent it to those folks, so we'll see what happens there. So, yeah.
I
So
believe there was an option C, Todd, and that was putting an office on transit buses for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right,
Moving
driving around.
on.
There was also the tent option, we looked at the tent option. So we're still, so the answer is right now, I can't build anything. I don't have enough money, and I have no way of obtaining that money. Because any loan would cost us far more than we could afford to pay at this point. So we're trying to figure out what our next steps are.
How much money have we put out already on this facility that's not being built?
The design and engineering are all told, with including the property purchases. The original property purchases, I think, were totaled about $600,000. So we own those outright, and that was Julie bought those, and that's where we house our buses. So it's not like it's unused property. And I think we've only put out. I just did the budget, so I believe it's about $400,000 in design and engineering that got us to the point we are today, where we have concepts, and we've done quite a few of the surveys on the property, so we know it's good to build, and we know exactly what we'd like to build if we could get the money. We just can't build it. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, yes, Heidi?
I just figured I'd mention, I don't know if Todd wants me to, but I'm going to do it anyways. April 1st is Transit Day at the Capitol. So I've been registered to go down there, so I'll be going down to the Transit Day to talk with legislators and try to figure out what might be in store for the future for transit.
Heidi, what day again, I'm sorry?
April 1st.
Is it?
So the next meeting I'll.
Wait, are you just joking?
No. I thought he was joking, but
Okay.
no,
I
it's.
didn't know if that was a little.
It's legitimate, I promise. I wouldn't fool you. But if you guys would like, I could try and just send out an email or bring up an update at the next meeting on what was discussed and what happened, and if you guys are interested.
That'd be great, yes, would be good. It's a great outreach, make connections.
Yeah, somebody here has already done it before.
Oh, who's that? Who's that? Oh. Got it. All right, perfect. Anything else? All right, I vote to adjourn this meeting.
Thank you.
In a second.
We don't
have to
vote
on it. Oh, we don't have to vote on
You don't have to, but
Okay.
a lot of people like to, just to make it
Yeah.
official.
official. All right, thanks, Gregory.